In this video, we are going to start learning about defining our own functions. So I'm going to start with one very simple example. I'm going to define a variable called temp, which contains my name, all right? And I'm going to call len on temp. It is going to say it is 5. This returns a number of characters in that object, that string of Naser. This is a Python built-in function. You don't need to know how it works. We just need to be able to use it, all right? Now, there are a lot of situations that you need to define your own function. For example, um, they usually functions that they come in a picture when you are writing bigger programs, and if you have your program in one long set of instructions, it is going to be very difficult to debug it to understand why it doesn't work. So we usually put different bits and pieces of code in different functions, and call those functions whenever we need them, all right? If it doesn't make sense, if what I just explained doesn't make sense to you, just please be patient with me. Here's one example. Let's say we want to define a function that returns a 1 over input number. All right. If we give it 2, I want it to return 0.5. If I give it if I provide 4, I want to see 0.25, and so on and so forth. Defining function starts with the keyword def. All right. Define. I'm going to call that func underscore 1. That's function's name. In the above example, function's name is len. In this one is func underscore 1. And I'm going to say, you know what, this function accepts num. All right. When I put colon, of course, it is going to indent the block. And now I'm able to define a function. Now I'm going to say if num is not equal to 0, return 1 over num. Else, return, and I'm going to explain all of that, return not valid input in input. All right, let's see what's happening here. I'm checking the num input to this function. If it's not 0, I'm going to return. That's a keyword that we are going to use in all function definitions. Return 1 over num. Otherwise, return a message, an informative message. All right, let's call and run this. It goes through, and now let's call it. I'm going to say give me func underscore 1 at 2, and it is going to return 0.5. I say func underscore 1 at 10, it is going to give me 0.1, and func underscore 1 at 0, it is going to give me not valid input. All right. Now, this is how you define function. You need to start with def, name of the function, input to function, and then at some point you might have 1, 2, or more than 2 return statements. Now, let me revisit len function that we have up there, and I'm going to put a question mark in front of it and call it. It says signatures len, and I pass an object into this function. And in this case, yes, we pass that string to len function. And there's something here called docstring, which explains what's happening with this function. It says return the number of items in a container, right? Let's see how we can define it ourselves. I'm going to grab, you know what, let me copy that cell right there and paste it right here. We are going to define our own docstring. Now, Python suggests having the defining docstring with inside 3 double quotations. All right, so I'm going to have 3 double quotations there, 3 double quotations under that, and I'm going to write docstring right here. I'm going to say this function returns 1 over input number. All right. Let's see how we can make this a little bit more informative. If you look at docstring of len, it says return. You don't need to write this function. It's a habit that we all have, and it's understandable, but we can say return 1 over input number. Let me run this, and I'm going to change the name of that function to func2 to separate function 1 and function 2. All right. Now let me call func2, and again let's look at that func1 and func2. It says these are functions. All right, func2 at 3, and it is going to give me 0.33. Now, how can I call that docstring, we are going to call that with func2. If I put question mark there and call it, it says signatures func underscore 2, you have to provide a num, all right, inside parentheses. Its docstring is return 1 over input number. That's where it's going to show, all right. um, we are going to have more details about functions in the follow-up videos, but this one sums up a sense of defining a function. Defining function starts with def, name of the function, and immediately after that you have to have parentheses open and close with potential input to your function. And then at some point you are going to have one or more than one return statement. Do not forget docstring. That is even though Python is not going to give you error if you don't write docstring, we are going to be very strict about it, and we are going to add our own docstring in all our functions.